Mike Trout here, and I want to encourage you to buy Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin isn't something you're going to buy and sell. You're going to hold it for 5 to 10 years. It's going to be that retirement fund that keeps on giving. Now, understand, I want to talk about Bitcoin. It is a cryptocurrency, which means it uses cryptography to keep it safe. Having Bitcoin is safer than having a bank account. Now, if you keep that Bitcoin in a hard wallet, it's next to impossible for anyone to get access to. If you keep it in something like Coinbase or an exchange, obviously the vulnerability, like any bank, is the exchange getting hacked. It's really important that people understand that Bitcoin, there's only a finite number. It's the most scarce asset out there. It's basically, think of it as electronic gold. There's less Bitcoin than there is gold. And next year, it's even going to have a rating or scarcity lower than gold. And over the years, it's going to become harder and harder to get. So that's why it's so important right now for you to get some Bitcoin, even if it's $1,000, $100. Get yourself some Bitcoin, and the easiest way to get Bitcoin is with Coinbase. Coinbase right now, on average, is doing about $300 million worth of Bitcoin sales a day. That's institutional investors that are coming in, flooding in, and as these, think of them, they are the early adapters of the institutional investors. As they're doing it and talking to their friends, and as soon as these investors see a times 10 return, or even a times 3, times 4, times 5, they're going to be smiling and telling their buddies, and their buddies are going to come in, other millionaires. The thing is, there's only really about 17 million Bitcoin ever available. Think of each Bitcoin as a nugget that can be broken down into 10 decimal places, and those are Satoshis. So you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. But I tell you what, if you're thinking about buying that new car, if you're thinking about buying something, an RV, or you've got all that tax money coming back at the end of the year because Trump, gave away all this money and ran us in a massive deficit, stick, 9,000 or so and buy an actual Bitcoin. There are going to be 10 million people on this planet by 2030. 10 million, 10 million, 10 billion people, right? And ultimately, they all can't own Bitcoin. So I hope you will own Bitcoin. And there is another reason why I'm making this video, is I'm launching something called the Bitcoin Global Reserve Fund for ushering in autonomous capitalism called social capitalism. And I hope that if folks listen to this video, go out and get some Bitcoin because of me, because I'm like, do it now, today. Bitcoin is extremely undervalued right now, that you'll get it. And I hope that in 5 years or 10 years, when it's worth $1 million, multi-million dollars, right, that you will actually give some of your Satoshi to the fund that I've set up. And you can watch my other videos that talks about the Bitcoin Global Reserve Fund and how it's going to exist on the blockchain by an algorithm, AI called Obey, Open Beneficial AI, that will manage it. And think of it, it's going to be like the gold standard reserve, right? What gold was to the dollar, this fund is going to be for social capitalism that will fund it, and whether it's ups or something else. So do yourself a favor, don't miss out. Go get some Bitcoin right now. It's extremely undervalued, and watch as it basically goes to the moon in the next couple of years. Don't watch the markets every day. Buy it, forget about it, check it every so often, okay? And you will be so happy that you did. Good luck. Undao do.